What's up, y'all? It's Chris, arch-usa.com. Just making sure I come back and get into something that I thought was pretty important, especially after writing the article last year that some of you guys may have missed. So I'm going to link it down here in the description in regard to when Sam Poser, I think he's still with Susquehanna. I'm not sure. I think he's left Susquehanna, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys that are on YouTube don't know the company that I'm speaking of. If you do, I apologize for talking as if you don't know something. He presented information on the accounts that were losing Nike contracts. Now, if you look over here to the side where, bam, I'm always doing that backwards because of the reverse image, but you'll see that City Blue lost 20 stores. City Blue lost Nike, VIM, Eblins, Belk, Dillard's, Fred Meyer, Bob Stores, Bosco's. We can continue to go down the list because there were stores prior to this, but he announced this in August of last year, and now we recognize this is coming to fruition. And in my head, I was like, you know what? I'd love to consult or talk with these stores because they have an opportunity to make a strong pivot and actually save their stores at the same time. So what am I talking about? My sales. So let's go to a list of sales, my sales from November to December. So I always like to use a small set of data that gives you information and detail on what's really selling, because when we compare it to the bigger macro market, typically my sales equal out to what the macro sales are from point of sales data from biggest analyst companies. So I'm going to go through shoes and show you I sold 1,200 shoes, 1,225 November and December. Yeah, 1,225 shoes I sold in November and December. And here's the killer part. The majority of the shoes were not what you would think they would be. Well, actually, I take that back. You know for a fact that it was the Air Jordan 1. So I'm going to scroll through Jordan 1s for you guys starting here, right? And that's at 39. And we're going to go all the way through all Jordan 1s, doesn't matter what type it is, and 255. So you're talking 254 pair of Jordan 1s. Now we're going to go to the Air Force 1, and Air Force 1 starts here at 360, and then we go down Air Force 1s, and we stop at 513. So you'd have to do the math on that. I'm not that great at doing math on this part of it, but my whole point is to show you that there's this misconception that the best-selling shoes are always Jordans or hype shoes or big release shoes. But for accounts that have Nike contracts and who are losing Nike contracts, it's more important for them to keep the customer that would come in the store to buy the Air Force 1 or the Air Jordan 1. So since we know that, brands don't really have an Air Jordan 1 comparison, we know that they have an Air Force 1 comparison. So if you're a small account and you're attempting to recapture that audience that wears all white shoes, am I wearing all white? I'm not. I'm actually wearing, what am I wearing today? I know somebody said, yeah, what are you wearing? Community made. I'm wearing community made. I had to throw that up there because I think sometimes people are like, what are you wearing? I'm wearing community made. These are custom. They don't really have a name. These are custom shoes that I made based on a shoe called the Traction. Back to what we were talking about. So Nike, and I'm doing this for a particular reason. I want you guys to see presentation pages. So if you're a small company, or you're a company that just lost Nike, or you're a company that doesn't have Nike at all, and you guys are looking at launching your websites or launching stores, then one, you needed to see that sales data. Two, you need to look at Nike's page for the Air Force 1. Very basic, right? As we scroll, you get pictures of the shoe, of course. You get a couple of close-ups, and then you have pictures of who's wearing it. But then you scroll down further, and it says explore the Air Force 1, and you get really what's a unisex picture here. You don't necessarily know if that's a woman or a man. You get a unisex picture here that could be anyone in sportswear, but they're wearing it, and they're showing you how it looks on foot. These are critical details for your web page. This is called visual merchandising. All right. It's the act of walking in the store and seeing a table laid out with t-shirts and then the shoes are sitting on top of it and then there's a poster behind it. That's merchandising. You have to merchandise. When you lose Nike, you lose the automatic attraction to the swoosh. You now have to sell. And if you have to sell, you need to merchandise. Please, I'm begging you, because if you don't, you're going to fall into a pit that you can't get out of. You're already facing an uphill climb because the swoosh is more prominent than anything in sneakers, period. Now we look at a Jordan page and you look at how vivid and bright and large the pictures are. So let's go through and look at some shoes that you could possibly add to your stores. Now I know all of those stores that I just mentioned, City Blue, VIM, Eblins, Bell, Dillard's, Fred Meyer, you guys are out there looking for accounts, or you already have accounts that you're replacing Nike with, but if you're not replacing it with an all-white shoe, you're placing yourself in jeopardy of losing a lot of customers, and those customers want the Air Force One. If you don't have it, then you need to give them an alternative that looks equally as good and is visually merchandised in the store correctly. But let's take a look at the brands that you get to choose from. ASICS, the Japan S, right? We look at the page, we scroll down, we get nothing, and then we get reviews. That's good for ASICS, I assume, but when compared to the Air Force One page where we have pictures of people on foot wearing the shoes, it does not compare. And if you're not comparing to the Air Force One, and I hate to say that you have to do that, but you do. You do. All right? So, and this is a great shoe, man. This ASICS Japan S. I love this little debray. It's not even a debray, it's beads that are going across the shoe. This thing is nice. It's an all white, right? So let's go to the Puma, and I think Puma actually has the best opportunity to capture some of the market. There's familiarity with Puma, and if you have merchandising with a poster of some of your NBA players wearing the California Pro, I'm pretty sure it's the California CA Pro, you don't even have pictures of your athletes wearing the thing on the page. It's frustrating for me to look at this and say, you could actually fill a space if you do this correctly, and that you're not doing it correctly, all right? It's a great looking shoe, but in the store it's going to be slammed against the wall just like it was as if you had Nike. It's time to change your stores and move away from just slapping it against the wall. Now, this is not an all white. This is my Jordan comparison with Adidas. It's a little bit dangerous to play around with colorways that are so kind of controlled by Jordan brand, but at $80, with the right merchandising, if we go down this page, we get nothing from Adidas. Nothing. Horrible merchandising on the page. If you go and find, Trae Young could be wearing this shoe. There's so many different Adidas guys that you could have on the page wearing this shoe that you could improve your opportunity to sell them. That's just a Jordan comparison. The Forum Low is a Air Force One comparison, and it's the same thing. The page isn't set up as well, but the Forum 84 Low is an awesome, awesome shoe to replace the Air Force One with. We go to the Reebok Club C. Again, a great looking option. Old heads would wear them, but you don't have any merchandising on the digital display. And I would have to assume there's none at a store. Diadora has a heritage model, and their heritage models are made with premium materials. Beautiful shoe. But we scroll down, not enough pictures, no visual merchandising. You need more. So we go in and we see the B Elite, which is a cheaper shoe. We got Under Armour, who doesn't have any, so we can close that up. We got Vans with the Av Pro, who has dope marketing because this is an Av Pro with Beatrice DeMond. And then we have Clay with a premium model and Fila with a premium model. These are good options for you to get, but you have to do a better job of merchandising to sell. Please increase the merchandising. That's it. See you guys on the next one. Peace.